Welcome back to Washington Watch. I'm Joseph Backholm, sitting in for Tony today. Last week, a federal judge in Florida granted a preliminary injunction against the military's COVID vaccine mandate for all U.S. Marines. This ruling came following a lawsuit filed by the Christian religious freedom law firm Liberty Counsel. Some Marines who refused the shot for religious objections did so, citing vaccine research and development that may have involved aborted fetal cells. So what does the preliminary injunction mean for these Marines? Joining me now to discuss this is Matt Staver. He's the founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Matt, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
We're glad to have you. Now, first, just tell us about the lawsuit you brought on behalf of these Marines.
We brought a class action lawsuit against all the military mandates for all six branches of the military back in September, October 2021. We've had multiple hearings. We've gotten individual injunctions for a number of different individuals in various branches, but we wanted to get a class action certification so that we could protect everybody. So last Thursday around 9:00 p.m., we got a great class certification for the U.S. Marines and class-wide protection. That means that anyone in the U.S. Marines that filed for religious exemption and were denied, at least at the first level, they are now protected. The order is very powerful, says that they cannot be forced to take the COVID shot against their sincere religious objections. They cannot be intimidated, coerced, they cannot be discharged, or they cannot be harassed in any way at all. So this is an exceptionally broad, powerfully written 48-page decision. There are now class-wide protections for the members of the Navy, the Air Force, Space Force. The most recent one is the United States Marines. We're working now to finish out the six branches with the Coast Guard and the U.S. Army.
And tell us more about that, because that is really good news. And we know, if memory serves, something over 60,000 members of the armed forces who have refused to get the COVID vaccine for a variety of reasons. Now, I understand this pertains to those who have filed religious objections. Does this apply to everybody who didn't get the vaccine, or just those who have made or requested religious exemptions?
Our lawsuit includes what's called the emergency use authorization. We will be dealing with that later this fall in the trial. And that means no one can be forced to get these COVID shots because they're under EUA, or they were at least certainly at the time. And that means no one can be forced, whether in the military or outside of the military, to get the COVID shots for whatever reason. But this particular injunction, the class-wide one, is for those that filed religious objections. So that's what it covers. We have had a persistent pushback from the Biden administration and his Department of Defense, and then that boils down to the brass of the various military, acting as though they're above the law. And this decision really is powerful. And it says, obviously, RFRA, which is the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, it includes everyone from the president to a park ranger, from the Chief Justice of the United States to a probation officer, from the Speaker of the House to a member's district's office, from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to a military recruiter, even if they don't like it and even if they don't agree with it. The free exercise clause in RFRA are the law of the land. Very powerful words.
They are, in fact, and we know, however, that thousands of military members have already been dismissed from service because of their refusal to get a vaccine, either because of their conscientious objection or health concerns, a religious exemption or religious objections, excuse me. What does this mean for them, if anything?
Well, we're going to be pursuing justice for them as well. You know, right now, for example, even the so-called legacy media are reporting that the Army has tens of thousands of people below its recruiting levels. The reason is because people are not joining due to the terrible morale under this Biden administration, particularly with regards to the shots. Others are being pushed out, like you're talking about. There is a real serious military readiness problem being created by the Biden administration. These are honorable men and women in all branches of the government that love God, love America. These are the kind of people we want in the service. These are the kind of people that Biden wants to purge from the military. We're not going to stand for it, whether they are in or out. We're going to fight for them to get justice. They are defenders of our freedom. And without them, we would not have the freedom that we have. And so we need to fight for their freedom as well. But we're intending to push for justice for all of these individuals. I think, it makes no sense legally, logically, or rationally for the military to continue these COVID shots. We've found now that many pilots are being injured. They can no longer fly. Others are being vax injured. Then they're not effective in preventing the transmission of COVID. We know that for a fact. Why are they doing it? I think they're doing it not because of health or safety, but to try to purge the men and women who are Christians and people of faith from the service. That's a very serious issue.
Matt Staver, last question for you. This is a preliminary injunction. That means this case is not over. What's next?
We go to trial in October of this year, but this preliminary injunction is really strong. We've never lost a preliminary injunction on this particular issue so far, and I anticipate that this will become permanent. I look forward to a trial when we are able to bring some of these people, put them on the stand, and put some of our good people on the stand like we've already done. But I have no doubt we will win this. We have won it so far. This gives all the protection we need pending trial and beyond.
Well, it is a significant issue in so many ways, for military readiness, for religious freedom, for those who are putting their lives on the line. We appreciate you, Matt Staver and Liberty Counsel, for all that you are doing to defend those who are defending us. And thank you as well for your time today.
Thank you. My pleasure to be with you.